Hey everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to episode 56 of Pokemon Gold, where we are playing Cyanwood City. Let's jump into the turn. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff going on. We'll do our normal spiel through everything. Okay, so we completed Alteration 7. Now we are running up Evocation. We're going to do Evocation 5, and then we're going to head down Thaumaturgy. So we got 4 done as well. Nothing with our probing. Apsu, Knowledge, Lore, Second Apsu, Horospecs, Auspecs, Augury. Get anything, unfortunately. Ramatiphone, the Miltank Champion, is the new Goldenrod City. Okay, so we got a couple of battles. So we were attacked in Gnome Peaks. We lost there. We won in Trouble Bog. We won in Windsong Forest. We won in Storn Woods. No, we lost in Storn Woods. Got caught out there. We won in Hallwoods. We won in the Forest of Gun. Okay. We attacked the Fortress of Lost Canyon Range, and we captured the fortress with 1 loss, a single shield black belt loss. This is kind of really unfortunate. So we had to kind of balance out our great luck the last couple turns. We had a negative luck event. We lost some population in Cyanwood City and gained a crap ton of unrest. That'll take us about two to three turns to patrol that down. So that's unfortunate. Got some nature gems, which is nice. One of our battle girls got caught out. One of our spies. Then we found one from Vermilion City. Completed the wooden fort in Three Pine Grove, so that means we can get a schoolgirl every single turn now. That's very good. The fortification in Forest of Gun is breached. Good. Dragonscale Mountains unharmed. Battlefield or 5 afflictions cured. Did some patrolling, got some promotions, and in the same turn that Goldenrod got a new prophet, they also were vanquished. Okay, so that's kind of the long and short of it. We didn't really see anything too interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at Forest of Gun. We'll watch our 2 Steelixes in action. Okay. They both go through the same script. Tipper Flesh, Iron Skin, Legions of... Oh, so Weapons of Sharpness. This is actually kind of nice that they know to change up. So, Section 33, Section 35. He is at 51 fatigue, which is much better than the 75 that he was sitting at. But this is just... There's absolutely nothing that this type of... And we've experienced this before, right? There's nothing that this type of PD is going to be able to do at all. Yep. Okay, so... what are we doing this turn? This is actually a really interesting turn. Let's take a look at the score graphs. Okay. First and foremost is the province count, right? Olivine City's provinces are they're just bottoming out, right? We'll take Vermilion, Ceylon. Okay, so these are the people that are actually still in the game. Ekrutik as well. I forgot. Everyone else is dead. Well, actually, I think Azalea is still alive, but I think they're also barely playing at all. Or Vermilion. So, basically, Olivine is pretty... The war is not over, right, by any stretch of the imagination. He still has plenty of fighting force that is capable of harming me, but we've done a lot of damage to him. His income is tanking this turn. My income tanked a little bit this turn as well, right, because of the unrest event on Cyanwood City. But everything about his scenario is tanking, except for basically his research, which was just never really. So what we are doing this turn is basically we are hitting every single, and we're gonna lose a couple of these. It's fine, but we're trying to keep the pressure up. We are going to hit every single province that he has. So we'll take this in fronts as we normally do in the Olivine City front, where most of the action is happening. We're doing a number of different things. Okay, so we're shuffling Wosen out, cycling him out, but Dolgad is actually going to go hit Green Wall. My assumption is that this is going to bounce, right? The local defense only consists of one officer and a few loyal henchmen, but he's been patrolling, right? So my assumption is that he's going to continue patrolling, but that might not be the case. He might actually move units out because he might realize that he needs to kind of be moving things out of his locations to fight me. Okay? So what happened? What happened here? I just realized this just now. The fortress is gone. Did he destroy his... Is he destroying... Oh, holy shit. He's destroying his infrastructure. Wow. Oh my god, I'm overwhelmed. Like I'm sitting here like holy shit, cuz I did not realize this, which is should tell you something about me as a player. I'm very stuck on my own thing. I'm not super observant, which is a bad thing, obviously, right? I did not realize that he was doing this. So I don't think he can. I don't think you can do it in places where you're siege. So obviously he can't do it here or here. And we took Lost Canyon range, so he couldn't do it there. But he's destroyed his fortress at Greenwall, and he destroyed the fortress at Violet City. He destroyed a capital fort. Wow. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, that definitely seems like he's calling it. That seems like he is throwing in the towel. I don't know that he's necessarily... We're probably going to still have to keep fighting him, right? But that seems like he's throwing in the towel. But holy shit. Okay, moving past that, right? The big thing, that's the big thing. That's the biggest thing of this turn by far. Anything else that I was going to say is a minor consequence compared to that. But what I was going to talk about was how I'm hitting every single province that he has, except for his capital, right? So we're hitting Dolgod in Greenwall, we're hitting Windsong Forest with Spiccato and with Modic. We're moving Zenville into Gnome Peaks, we're moving Wiglia into Storn Woods, we're moving Ilvik back to resupply, but we're moving Starwald up into Violet City. And we're moving Gilgamesh, or storming the castle with Gilgamesh, and we're moving Ishkur into Banded Hills. So the plan here is basically just to probably lose several of these fights, but to keep the pressure up. I don't know how to react to this now that I realize that he's destroyed his infrastructure and he like fully destroyed infrastructure too. It's not just the forts. He destroyed labs too. There's no lab in Violet City Or can you see labs? Maybe that's no. I don't think you can see labs in a place. So maybe not. Can you destroy labs? I actually don't know. I'm so flustered right now. I've lost my brain over the fact that he's destroyed his fortresses. Okay, let's keep going. So that's the plan, right? Is we're gonna keep the pressure on. We're gonna hit him in every single place that we can. We're probably gonna lose several of these fights. That's okay. I feel like at this point we have done so much economic damage to him that we can afford to lose a few things here or there. The only thing that really makes me nervous is losing a Gilgamesh or losing one of my Celixes. Okay. So moving from there into the Saffron City front, we are continuing to recruit Steelix champions here, but we're actually moving Robodan over towards the Great Dunes in order to hopefully cap the Throne of Fire. I would really like the fire income, but I also would really like the +3 to blessed troops, and I'd like the Dominion spread, honestly. Everything about the Throne of Fire is generally pretty good. Even being able to grab some Pyroflegatons, that would be pretty nice. This does means that Saffron City is kind of left open, but we don't plan on being gone for very long, and my first Steelix I actually plan on probably kitting out with some of this stuff and leaving in this area. Unless I feel like I have to immediately take him elsewhere. But I plan to leave him in this area to combat other Steelixes. Okay? So from there, we're continuing to build a wooden fort over here in the Great Dunes, doing normal stuff in other locations. In the Violet City front, he destroyed his freaking fortress and I didn't realize it. That's crazy. I'm freaking out. This still goes back to the scenario of I'm talking with Honored about whether or not he gets his cap back. And at this point, like, with a destroyed capital, I'm kind of like, okay, well, whatever. You know? So that's the Violet City front. In Three Pine Grove, this is actually a big deal. We're fully going to turn on our schoolgirl recruitment. We're leaving Yazar in the area because we want to make sure this is protected. We should have done this 20 turns ago, right? When we first had an opportunity to dedicate someone to protecting this area, we should have done that, but we didn't. So, is what it is. Okay. From there, in Viridian City, and now we still have some gold to play with because I haven't quite made a decision on some of the things I want to do, but we'll just spin that before we end the turn. In Viridian City, we're not really doing anything else of super note, except for one particular thing. You guys need to go back to here. And that is that we've pulled aside all of the people that were leveled up. We have a new patroller, right, is Wanda, though she's still paired with our Summon of Power, Strength of Giants, Coma, right? And that's the whole plan of making them stronger. I think this group can face off against some Steelixes, so that's pretty good. But what we're also doing is we are taking Ekis and this whole lump sum of crap, and we're moving it down to Mountains of Madness because we're going to ping the curtain wall with rhetoric here in just a second, and then we're going to send Ekis into them. And I'm actually probably going to start talking to Vermilion City about him taking this throne. Because I'm going to have this throne, and probably this throne pretty soon. I don't know. It depends on the whole... I mean, if he gets his cap back, he's probably... If Violet City gets their cap back, they're probably not going to be happy about me taking the throne in their cap circle. So, we'll see how it goes. But I'm kind of just gonna suicide Ekis's group onto Curtain Wall, because again, I don't really want to keep these guys around. But also, I think they'll lose, but I'm not entirely sure they will. I think they will. I'm not entirely sure they will. So they're gonna lose. They're definitely gonna lose, but. I'm gonna start using Curtain Wall as kind of like a kill my random crap province, basically. Okay, so moving from there into the Cyanwood City front, we've got a whole lot of movement going around for multiple different reasons. Moving Black Belt goes to new destinations, moving EV summoners around. We're actually moving Robior out with a little set of gear. He's gonna go. I'm gonna go. Either if he can make it to all of the Olivine City front, I'll have him start fighting there. But otherwise, he's just gonna go get stationed somewhere to be kind of like this muscle, basically, right? This kind of like little simple thug. And then we've got some big stuff going on. One of the little things first, sorry, is that we're moving out a swimmer here to Silverwall. It's going to be the first location where we put up a Future Fist exploration. So next turn we're going to send Simios out in that direction, and then Simios, once he gets there, is going to Future Fist exploration. So we're going to have a combination of, every other turn we will drop a lab, then drop a Future Fist. Drop a lab, drop a Future Fist. Drop a lab, drop a Future Fist. This is a pretty hefty investment, but I think in the long run it will be worthwhile. Labs aren't super expensive for us, so it is what it is. What else are we doing? We're doing a couple of interesting things. Aside from our normal normal forging with our lightless lanterns and our pokeballs and things like that, we're also forging a flame helm with Rex. Rex is now a fire 4. The flame helm will put Rex up to a fire 5. We are forging a ring of sorcery on Cameron the photographer. That is going to allow us in approximately 3 to 4 turns, depending on what I want to do with it. Maybe less. 3 turns definitely, but maybe less, depending if I want to alchemize a couple gems. We will be able to do a Ring of Wizardry. With the Ring of Wizardry, Rex will be able to be a Fire 6. Fire 6 will allow us to do things like Eternal Pyre. So we're trying to save up some fire gems for that. We might alchemize a little bit for it, but we will see. Okay? So that is one of the plans that we are executing on there. Trying to think of anything else big that we're doing here. Research-wise, right, we're going to finish up Evocation 5 next turn, and we will finish Thaumaturgy 6 at the same time, and then it should only take us a handful of turns to do Thaumaturgy 7. So we're going to try to prep for that. Recruitment-wise, we're doing, again, another Machampion, trying to get an H3. I think we are going to start... So Chuck is here, right? And I think we're gonna try to create a goon squad with Chuck. A massive army, mostly comprised of black belts, but with some support from like probably not Vaporeons, but probably like Raichus and Jolteons. I can't click a Jolteon. There we go. Because they both have the very long-range thunder, which I think would be pretty useful. Okay. And yeah, I think we might take Chuck, and up here we're actually going to start recruiting. I say start recruiting. We're going to continue recruiting Battle Girls and Karatekas up in Impassable Mountains. And we're probably going to use them as a force, a fighting force, for battle casts, basically, with Chuck. I don't know that we're ever gonna have crazy battle magic, like large cadres of mages in battle magic, because our battle mages just really aren't very good. We're gonna recruit some stuff over here too. Before I go crazy, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. We got a 7th coming. The 7 is the last one that we have to have. I think we want to continue to get some Battle Girl rubies, actually. So let's grab a couple of those in various locations. And we'll go from there. So that should be fine. Yeah. So that's kind of the overall game plan right now. In a couple turns, we should be able to cast Eternal Pyre, which gets us into the global gem gen business. We're going to be using Earth Gems every other turn to put up a 1 Earth Gem per site location. That's going to be over the course of 20 or 30 turns. That's going to hopefully have very good dividends. It's going to be a healthy investment, but I think in the long run, I think that amount of Earth Gems is going to be worthwhile. Fingers crossed. And the death knell might be coming for Olivine City. And they might know it, I guess. I don't really know how to react. I'm not sure if you have noticed or not. I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm super flustered and out of sorts now, having realized that Olivine City has destroyed their infrastructure. That's kind of crazy to me. I'm not one of those people. I say one of those people. I think it takes a specific type of mindset in a strategy game like this to go, all right, I'm gonna lose. I will torch everything, burn everything, and so that's something else I have to worry about, right? I need to worry about whether or not he's gonna start pillaging places. Oh, did I not do that? Double check. So I need to worry about that. Because if he has the mindset of, or the willingness, right, to destroy his own fortifications, saying, I'm gonna lose these, so I would rather destroy them than give them to you and let you benefit from them. That's something else, honestly. That's a big deal. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what he does now. If he just like because he's been, I don't want to say cautious, but I feel like he's been realistic, maybe cautious with his usage of, attack, stealth, attack, stealth, attack, stealth, that kind of concept, like not being hyper aggressive with his Steelixes. Maybe he just gets super aggressive now and he just like charges me. I don't know. I have no idea. But like, if you were gonna do that, I feel like if you're gonna do that, then you do that instead of destroying your fortifications. But maybe he's just gonna like try to pull everything back to Olivine City and be like a city-state. Be like, all right, who wants to come kill the guy who has 13 Steelixes in his capital, right? Because I don't want to be that person. I absolutely, sure as shit, don't want to be that person. That sounds horrible. But that goes back more again to this concept of like, I'm probably gonna try to put together a death squad with Chuck. But even if I took like 5 or 10 turns it's gonna take a while to put that together. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 provinces to Olivine City. That's gonna be a long march. I guess if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could get there in 5 if I go through Vermilion and Atlantis's territory. Oof. Big oof, man. Alright, so you might also notice that we're moving our scouts out across the world. I'm trying to, and again, this is what I'm doing with getting more of the battle girls. I'm trying to open up our vision of the world, try to get a better concept of what's going on, so we can kind of try to figure out what our game plan is for the rest of the game. I'm also opening up dialogue with a lot of this game. Like I said, this game has been, for almost 6 months for me, has been completely focused on fighting the rock snakes. And now that I feel like that is kind of winding down, I'm realizing there's an entire other game going on that I'm gonna have to figure out where I place in. And I think, like, score graph wise, we can see, like, Pewter City is an incredibly dangerous person, but we're up there as well, right? That's really interesting to kind of like look at this stuff, right? To see this is when Olivine started attacking Violet City, right? Violet City was so incredibly far out front. Pewter was doing great too, though. And we are just like middle of the pack there, right? But as Olivine takes Violet City stuff, and mine, right? Because that definitely happened. Whew. Now that has just skyrocketed back in our favor. Alright, well, we've got a couple of interesting things going on. We're just gonna have to see how things go. By the way, also, this might be something that people have noticed, and I'm gonna try to maybe figure out something that I can do about it. But I had been recording, because I actually really like the music in Dominions. I had been recording with the music playing in the background, but I have since I've started uploading things, and a lot of the music gets copyright claimed. So because I looked into it, and I think the scenario is like one of the composers or one of the pieces or whatever for the developers of the game used, right? They have the rights to use it, obviously. But just because they have the rights to use it doesn't mean the creator can't be a pain in the ass and claim the shit out of it. And I don't think, in fairness, I don't think it's actually even like the composer who's claiming it. I think it's their music, the record label is claiming it. So that's just something that I'm having to deal with on the spare time. But I don't want you guys to just have to listen to the sound of my beautiful voice all the time. So I'm looking into maybe like putting some free music tracks or something like that that have a similar style behind. But we'll see. I don't know. That might be a little too much to go into this Pokemon team. Anyways, that is going to be it for now. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.